Oh, Sharice is here. Nice.
Yes.
Gwen, oh my gosh. Hello and welcome. I am so glad to see you here. Hello, Sharice. Welcome. Haven't seen you in a while. Lovely to see you. That's always a pleasure to see you. And Gwen, if you can't go on screen, totally fine. You can unmute yourself and say hi. And then, let's use the chat too. We have the chat available. So make sure to use that. Okay. We have Wilma and Beth joining us.
Yep.
We'll give people another minute to join. Okay, great. Gwen's on the phone, but she's going to join us soon. Wonderful. Hey, Wilma.
Hi, Wilma. Hi, Beth.
Beth, look.
Oh, Liza's coming in.
It's fantastic. Have a good meeting. Liza, welcome. So I guess we should get started. We were starting by celebrating, but it was taking kind of a chunk of time. So maybe instead, for those of you who can, write in the chat something that you're really grateful for. And I'm grateful to be here with all of you. And I just want to celebrate that. And I want to celebrate that we're all here together and we're going to be talking about precepts, which is mine and Jamie's jam. We love the precepts. Oops. And so is anybody okay? Jamie, grateful for feeling better. Yay. Deanna's joining
Yes.
us. Oh, this is gonna be a great call because a lot of you will get, and we have people here with a lot of experience. So this is great. Sharice just bought.
Oh.
Welcome. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see you here. Love her picture. Love her profile picture. So let's talk about the precepts and what they bring to us. Hey, Deanna, so good to see you.
Oh, Liza wrote another song. Excellent.
Oh my God. Yay, Liza and Beth. She's grateful to be focusing on the precept. Yes. So let's talk a little bit about the precepts.
Yes.
The precepts are our foundation to our Reiki practice. They are not affirmations. They are instructions for living, how to live a great life. Oh, and Beth said, I'm grateful to be focusing. Oh, no, that was Beth. Okay, yeah. Sorry. Thought it was a new one. And the precepts can really help us to deepen our own meditation practice. So, Jamie, I don't know, you want to add what you want to add to that? Hi, Marilyn. Talking about the precepts.
Yeah. Oh, and we have someone else joining us. This is great. Yeah. So, the precepts, I think a lot of people sometimes they think, oh, it's supposed to be an affirmation. It's supposed to be positive. And we know that's not really what they are. They're just a guideline to living. And I think it's important that we keep that in our minds when we're working with the precepts and talking about them and reciting them. It's not an affirmation where everything is positive and, sunshine and unicorns. This is a way to live a spiritual life and a life of compassion.
Absolutely. And it's just, it's a way of reminding ourselves when we're out of so when we practice the precepts in the morning and we practice them at night, it becomes a habit and it starts to become more ingrained in us. So that when we get angry, we almost immediately go to, okay, for today only, do not anger. So what the precepts do, which in other meditation practices, there really isn't this kind of way to catch yourself, like a mindfulness, right? It really is like a practice in mindfulness because it's bringing you to the moment where you're realizing I'm angry. Whereas before the precepts, you might get angry and you might feel justified in your anger and you might feel like, and you might carry that anger, right? And what we'll talk more about this. What it means is you're definitely going to get angry, but what it means is something else. You're not going to carry your anger. But anyway, so when we're practicing the precepts, or we get worried, you have an unexpected bill. Oh, I'm really worried. Hi, so glad you could join us. I'm really worried. I got this unexpected bill. And then you can say, okay, for today only, do not worry. We change our energy about what's happening. And that's really healing for us. And that gives us our inner strength. And also what we put out comes back, right? So law of attraction, if you believe in that or not, it's really an energy attraction. So if you're putting out worry, hatred, anger, that's what you're going to get back. But if you're putting out positivity, love, everything's fine, abundance, that is what you're going to get back. But it's hard to stay in that positive, our world is very negative. So it's very hard to stay positive. But the way we can do that is through the precepts. And the precepts really help us stay in a more positive mindset by reminding us when we get angry, right? I mean, that happens to me all the time. It's like, I'll get angry about something. I go, oh, for today only. Okay, do not anger, come back down. Or do not worry, come back down. Wilma yesterday shared something and I thought it was really interesting, because a lot of times when we're doing this practice, if you know the practice and you've been practicing the precepts, hey Gwen, is that you might say when you get angry, okay, I'm not going to do the precepts because I'm totally out of sync with the precepts, and I know I should be saying the precepts, but I'm freaking angry. It's okay. We have to have grace with ourselves, right? Compassion to yourself. What we mean when we say do not anger, it means don't carry your anger. So you can be angry and you can even take, like if it's something really bad, you can take an hour, be angry, but don't allow yourself to carry that anger throughout the day, through the night, into the next day. Allow yourself that space where you go, okay, do not angry. Okay, why am I angry, right? To really start to be humble about why am I angry? And then have compassion to yourself. Okay, I'm angry. It's okay for me to be angry about this. This is something I've been dealing with for a long time. I was triggered. I got really, because usually when we get really super angry, right, Jamie, it's a trigger. Like we've had that, right? We're really angry. And what happens? It's a trigger. It's something was triggered. Something that we've been carrying around with us has been triggered. And that's where that anger comes from. So really, it's not about out here, about this person at all. It's all about what's happening in here. So Jamie, I'm going to give that back to you to talk about.
Yeah, and I think it's important to know that lots of things happen in our life that maybe really they aren't fair, they aren't just. And so we can have this resentment and this anger. And I know I had that I had a situation where, I was still angry, even 3 years, I had carried this. And I had a moment where I went back, and I describe it as like the Wizard of Oz. So when Dorothy lands, and the witch's foot is sticking out there, and the good witch is there, and the bad witch is threatening Dorothy. And I just remember the good witch, and she's got that little smile, and she waves her sparkly little wand, and she said, "You have no power here." And that's exactly what it was. I went back, I was in that situation, and I had my good witch of the West, or whichever one she was, of the moment. And it's like all of it went away. And so I don't even think about it anymore. And when I do find myself reliving moments that make me angry, I just kind of do this now. It's like my little wand, like, oh yeah, they have no power here. You have no power here in this land.
I love that, because it's our ego, right? Our ego.
Yes.
And that we can really calm our ego going, you have no power here. Ego, big on, have no power.
Yes.
Right? But it's true, because it's our ego telling us this person hurt you, this situation happened to you, this always happens to you. Oh, Wilma, yeah. Definitely try it. And so, but when we step back and we look at it, it's how we're perceiving. We can't tell somebody that, oh, you're making me mad, you're making me sad, because they can't make you anything. Hey, Gabby, thanks for joining us. you have power over your feelings, over your emotions. And what the precepts do is they help us take back that power and to really start to heal ourselves. Because the more you do these, the more you incorporate them, the more you start to be mindful of your anger, be mindful of your worry, become more grateful, become more compassionate, more humble, then you can start seeing people where they are, right? You can start seeing when someone says something mean, oh, that's a really hurt person. You know, that's a person that's in a lot of pain. And you can then not take it personally because you can see them for who they are. And that's what I love about this practice. It really helps us get wisdom. And that is the part of the magic of the precepts is we become more wise. We become more wise, we become more compassionate, and we can start to see when things upset us, we can stop and go, okay, wait, is this really something that is happening to me? Is this something that I'm causing? Or is this someone who's in pain, who's saying something, or somebody who's insecure, right? They don't even have to be in pain. Sometimes insecure people can really hurt you, right? They can leave you out of things. They can do things because they're insecure and need control over here, right? So then maybe they might push you out. Like that's happened to me before. I don't know if any of you, like, you like, oh, do that. No, oh no, you can't because there's no more room or whatever it is. And you automatically start feeling really sad and really, oh my gosh, they were so mean to me. But really, when you stop and look at it, they're just really insecure about something. And I love that that's the precepts bring us wisdom. And I don't know if you want to say anything more about it before we open it up to get other people's comments on it, James.
No, I'd like to hear what everybody else has to say.
So how we do this, ladies, for those of you who are just joining us, and I'm so happy to see Gwen. I haven't seen you in forever, so I'm just so excited to see you. It's been years. You just raise your hand or you can use the hand emoji and then we'll call you. And this is a really safe, sacred space. You can ask any question. There is no question that is too silly at all. In fact, whenever somebody says, oh my gosh, this is a stupid question, or this is a silly question, it's like, actually, it's a great question. And we have a really good conversation around it. So be sure to ask or make a comment, whatever it is you feel guided to do, please do it. But just, raise your hand or whatever. Oh, Deanna, yes.
Hey, how are ya?
Good.
Yeah, I love this topic. I think of it as the precepts help me stay in higher frequency because if I'm in lower frequency, anger, worry, all that, then I'm not in touch with my light and my light is not shining. So you know what I mean? That
I love that. Exactly. I love that. If you look at yourself as lower frequency and higher frequency, where animals are in the higher frequency. So if we're down here, how can we really connect easily with them when we're in that lower frequency? I love that. Thank you, Deanna. Anyone else? And again, just anything, just comment, raise your hand. Yeah, Beth.
I've been thinking a lot about anger in the last few weeks, and I feel like anger for me is like a sort of a trigger, not just like what's triggering like what am I seeing in this person. It's like kind of maybe within me, but also at like situations I'm like, can I actually do something productive about this? So as I was saying about the wolves, the zoo I used to work at, they euthanized the wolf pack this week. They've mismanaged the pack completely. And I've been getting quite angry about it, but I think, no, it's not, this isn't helping anybody. So I'm going to like calm down. And once I'm in that calm space, I'm going to make a proper complaint about the zoo to the board. And that's doing something kind of like productive with my anger. So I'm using it as like a kind of propelling force, but not doing it from the place of anger. So I'm going to wait till I've calmed down a little bit more to then do something about it.
Absolutely. And then in the meantime, you can send love because, we're all connected. Send love to them, send love to the wolves, because again, like Deanna said, that's a higher vibration and love is really healing. And we think we know, oh, this is how this is going to go. This is how this is going to happen. We're not leaving room for miracles. miracles can happen at any point, at any time. So what we can do is send love and support and support everything that's happening. Yes, of course, we don't support that they euthanize the animals, but we support them as people. And like you said, I love that. You're using your anger as something that's productive, because the precepts don't mean you're never going to get angry, right? It means, are you going to carry it? But you're saying, okay, I'm angry, because there is a place for anger, right, Jamie? There is a
Right.
place for anger.
Mhm.
And you use that anger and you channel it. I love that, Beth. Thank you so much. And we can all send Reiki to that situation, and to the wolves, and to the zoo, because they're doing the best with what they know and what they have, right? And so we can send love and compassion that hopefully will help rise them, and now they'll be more open to seeing a better way. Animals, I mean, how many times have animals sacrificed themselves for our knowledge, for our growth, right? For us to be better. And it's a gift that they give us, but we can give it back by responding to these situations with love.
Yep.
So anybody else want to say this? Yeah, Deanna.
Just another thought, like emotions are not bad, and like our thoughts are not bad. So we don't have to judge them, but it's just like, okay, acknowledging them. Okay, so I'm not going to get stuck in them, but yes, I acknowledge that, I have this emotion. It's not good or bad. It just is energy.
Right. I love that.
Mm.
Yeah. Thank you. So Deanna, for those of you who don't know, she's a member of SARA, the Shelter Animal Reiki Association. When did you learn animal Reiki, Deanna? I've known you for 15 years, I think.
Yeah, I think I started in maybe 2014.
Oh,
Or
2014.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, I thought it was
about
earlier
that.
than that, but
It
yeah.
could be.
Yeah, so it's nice to have Deanna here to share her wisdom, because she's been doing this a long time. And Liza, I don't know if you want to share, because I know you've been practicing a long time.
Yeah. Something that just came up for me. So I volunteer at a dog rescue, and then oftentimes they have another place where they have farm animals that they also rescue. And I go out there when the weather's good fairly regularly. And I was just out there last week, and I've been struggling with something that I saw. And what you just said, Leah, was so helpful, because, I've been practicing animal Reiki since 2008. And, it doesn't matter how long you practice, you still have stuff come up, right? We still get
Hey, Liza, can you turn your video off?
we were and all those things.
Liza,
And I've been,
I don't
so
think-
there's a donkey there, and
yeah, there
is
you
that
go.
better?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So anyways, there's a donkey out there I haven't seen in 5 months that I saw last week. When I saw him 5 months ago, he looked amazing. Mila, come here, come. Sorry. And when I got there on Thursday, he had scars on his face and across the bridge of his nose. Mila, no barks, please. Shh, she's being playful. Sorry. And I asked one of the staff what had happened to him, because he didn't look like that the last time. And she's like, well, I'm not sure, but I think somebody just had his halter on too tight. The scars were so bad, though, they had to have left it on for a long time. Somebody must not have, I don't know if they weren't watching him. And at first I was just really angry and frustrated about it. And then I'm like, okay, well, he's fine. He has scars now, and it's a bummer, but somebody must not have known what they were doing or something. And so I just have to, offer love in this space, and our all is well mantra, right?
Right.
He's still okay. He has scars, but yeah. Anyways, that was my example. That was really a little frustrating. And I'm going to mute myself because these guys are getting a little nutty.
Yeah. So, what, I'm glad you brought that up, because like you said, like you saw him and your response was, I'm angry. And so what happens when we do that with animals? They feel our anger. So now I've got this anger, right? And imagine yourself, you're the sun, right? Through our practice, we become the sun. We're this beautiful light. Now all of a sudden, dark clouds. It is ugly and stormy. And you're like with that animal. And the animal's like, wait a second, where'd the light go? They don't know why you're angry. All they feel is this really ugly energy that's right around you now, instead of the sun. So now they're kind of like, take a step back. Wait a second. What's happening here? You know, you're the sun. Why are you having this dark? So we have to be really careful when we're with animals that we're not. You mean, of course, you know, that instant, of course, Liza saw it. Of course, we're going to have that response. What happened? And then it's like, okay, wait a minute. Go back into that space, right? This is love. This is compassion. I am a compassionate being. I'm a loving being. We're all connected. Whatever happened, it's been fixed. He's healing from it. So I can say thank you. I can send love to this little donkey, right? It's hard, but it's what we have to do because they see us as a beautiful healing light, right? We're the sun to them, and they're the sun to us, right? Our lights are coming together. We're all connected. But when we start to bring our energy down, well, we're all connected. So we're bringing everybody's energy down. So we really have to keep ourselves elevated. It is hard, which is why we have the precepts.
Mhm. You know, and another thing to remember, when we get angry, when we have any kind of emotion, really, we are creating a circuit in our brain that, and it gets stronger and stronger. So every time you're angry, it immediately goes to that circuit and you're like building a muscle, right? And every time you're compassionate, you're making a circuit in your brain. So if we allow I mean, we're going to get angry, but if we stay in that anger, we are really developing that circuit of anger in our brain, and we're going to go there quickly, and it's going to have a lot of momentum. So the sooner we can recognize it and, you know, just take a break, even if it's to focus on something else, or, you know, whatever it is, if you want to focus on your pets or go for a walk, it breaks that cycle that you're in, and it diminishes how strong that circuit in our brain is.
Absolutely. I love that. And that's science, right?
Yeah.
So what we're doing, it seems like, oh, we're doing something kind of woo-woo, but everything that we're doing, like we talked last week about chanting, it's based in science.
Mhm.
What we're doing works. So, you know, keep yourself in that space. It's the easiest meditation that we have to do. And in fact, I'm going to share my screen. Let me see if I can make this big first, but I will send this out to everyone. I'm going to make this big, but it's a Venn diagram of the precepts, and you can see how it is your journey to your light. So let me share this. There we go. So can you all see this?
Yes.
Today only. That's a very Buddhist concept. It means in this moment. In this moment, you can be without anger. So when you can look at this and you see that anger is their outer layer, right? Worry is just a level below anger. So when we let go of anger, we get down to worry. And when we let go of worry, we become more humble, right? We don't think that we know everything. We can be open to hearing other people's opinions or being open to other situations or other ideas. And then we can be grateful, because if you're humble, if you let go of your ego, now you can be grateful. You can show gratitude easily. And when you can do that, guess what? When you can be humble, when you can be grateful, and you no longer have anger or worry, you are compassionate. And that is who you truly are at your core. That is your light. That is the light of you. That is your light of your soul, your spirit. And you are a beautiful, loving, compassionate person. Because all of this, letting go of anger, letting go of worry, being humble, grateful, being compassionate, leads to love, right? So we should put a little heart here. Maybe I'll add that, Jamie, a little heart down there, because that is really the energy that we are getting to. It is the energy of love. So when we're sitting here, you know, I teach this. It's like, oh, animal Reiki, you know, people come and they want to learn, okay, I'm going to learn all these different things to do with animals. But really what it comes down to is we're learning how to sit in the energy of love, to let go of everything and just be love, be the light of love. And when we connect with animals, we're connecting with them in that space of love. And that is the space that they live in when they're healthy. When they're stressed, when they're at the shelter, they start to lose sight of that, right? They start to lose sight of their own inner light. And when we come and sit with them, they're reminded of it. It's like, oh yeah, that's who I am at my core. I connect with, the practitioner, and now, everything is well, all is well. Now my light is love. Your light is love. We're all love in this connected. So if you see us all as lights connecting, we are all just beautiful beings in this space of love. But as humans, we start to lose that, right? We start to get angry. We start to get worried. We start to think we know it all. We start to be like, I'm not grateful. I have nothing to be grateful for. How many times have you heard people say, I have nothing to be grateful for? You have everything to be grateful for. If you have running water, you are more lucky than a lot of people, millions, billions, like in places that have no running water, and water is becoming scarce. So be grateful. You could be grateful for water. You could be grateful that you woke up today in this body. You can always be grateful, but we start to lose that as humans. In animals, that's why we do what we do, right? Because they remind us of that light within us. So I'll stop sharing that, and we'll provide that. I think I will add that little heart,
That'd be
Jamie.
cute.
And then we will send that to you all next week. Which, by the way, we're taking a week off. We're taking Easter break.
Yes.
Be with the bunnies next week. So we and the bunnies will be celebrating. Just celebrating. I don't know. We're not celebrating that bunnies are laying eggs or anything. We're just going to be celebrating Easter. And so we won't be doing our call, but I'll send in, one of us will send an email Friday or Saturday with that graphic, so you can kind of use it, right? Print it out, put it up, remind yourself, here are these beautiful precepts. They're instructions on how to live a sound life, a life of compassion, a happy life, right, Jamie?
Yeah, absolutely.
Peaceful life.
Yes.
An enjoyable life, a joyful life.
Yeah, a fun life. Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So other comments about, yes, Mary Lynn.
What you what you just said brought me to wanting to share this story. Yesterday, I was at the shelter, and a beautiful reddish golden dog had just come out of surgery. So she was recovering. She was heavily sedated, and I was asked if I'd like to go in and be with her and offer Reiki. So I said, "Whoa, that wonderful! I hadn't done that before." So she was out like a light, and I'm sitting, and I'm I'm getting into my meditation, and I looked at her and told her about she's a bright light, and I'm a bright light, and I want to share my love with you, and that's why I'm here, and all is well. So I close my eyes and I get into the meditating. Now, I had looked at her before I closed my eyes. I open my eyes, I swear, sedated or not, that Bailey turned her head. It wasn't that way. I really believe she heard me. She was listening. Oh, I'm getting choked up. I swear I felt, I got the chills, that she heard that she is love and light and all is well, and so many people love you, and you're getting stronger every day. And it was, I know she heard me. Those words are powerful, powerful.
So Mary Lynn, so first of all, yes, the words are powerful, but what's more powerful, and I want you to, and this is such a teachable moment. I love this. Thank you so much for sharing that. Is your energy, because animals communicate with energy. So your words, and right, we have to remember this, our words have emotion, they have feeling, they have power. And your words were pure love, right? They were generating and building love within you. So in India, we have a shelter that uses Reiki, our method of Reiki, every day. And when we did the conference, I don't know if any of you heard Rachel Wright, but she is the owner, the founder of Tolfa. And she talks about how important Reiki, the let animals lead method of Reiki, is at her place. But they did a surgery when Allison, the Sarah director, was there, and they only have ketamine. They don't have what the American vet places or shelters have. They only have ketamine for these surgeries. So it is a very painful procedure for dogs. And this dog was undergoing a leg amputation. And Allison was asked to stand there and offer Reiki to this dog that was undergoing surgery. So she did. And she stayed there during the whole time of the surgery. And when the surgery is over, the dog, like usually the dogs they kind of wake up from this ketamine and they're screaming, like, right? They're like in pain. And the dog didn't. The dog just shook. And then they helped him off the table and he just kind of hobbled away. And that was it. And the doctor said that during the entire time, his vitals stayed normal, completely normal. And that also never happens. And so, when the dog was under in a way, right? He's in all this pain and he's getting surgery and he's not really that awake, not as under as Bailey was. But we have to remember that they're so connected on a deeper level that we may never understand. But when we're there holding space, that power of that space that we're creating is so big and huge and healing, right? That's where the true healing is. It's not like we're healers and you have a broken leg, I'm gonna fix your leg. It's that beautiful space that we're holding. That is healing. And that is what the animals are picking up on, right? It's all energy and they're showing us. That's how we can be with each other. That's how, think about how powerful that is as humans to understand that. So thank you so much, Mary Lynn, for sharing that. Yeah.
Could I say one? This is real quick. It has to do with the chanting. So I was yesterday again, I was in the cat room and I'm down, and after I spoke to them all and I'm starting to meditate and I said, I feel like I want to chant. So I opened my eyes and I started chanting and going with the flow and the rhythm. Then I'd stop and close my eyes. And at one point, I looked at the three cats that were there in front of me, and they had all stopped what they were doing. And they were just glued, their eyes, their face, they were just glued to me like, wow. Like, wow, what are you doing? I think, oh, this is so cool. And oh, I like this music. It was really, their attention was grabbed. It was different than when I wasn't chanting. So, I'm chanting away.
Good for you. Well, thank you.
I love it. Yeah.
So does anyone else have something to say about the precepts before we move on to some questions? Gwen or Maud, you're new to this, so any questions you want to ask or share or comments? Anything at all? Oh, Maud's gonna say, all right, great. Oh, so Gwen, go ahead and then, Gwen, I'll go to you and then Maud. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
I do have a question about the precept of humble. That seems like it's changed depending on the school and
Absolutely.
the time. And so when they use work diligently, has that been taken out of the precepts?
No, not at all. So for this call, we make it really simple. Like this is one that we share when we do presentations to people who may not know Reiki.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very simple one, but like for you, you've studied with Yakutin Inamoto for many years and stuff. So no, then that's kind of a little more advanced version because, there's many different versions. There's also the Chris Marsh version. Do not anger, for anger is an illusion. Do not worry, for fear is distraction. And then there's Yakutin Inamoto's, which is do not anger, do not worry. Is it be honest and work diligently?
I'm not sure. I just know that the work diligently has come up, and I've often wondered exactly what does that mean. I like the humble. I like the humble.
Yeah. So this is really it kind of goes in line with that. So Nicholas Pearson has a wonderful book. It's called The Foundations of Reiki Ryoho, an overview of Okuden and Shoden, or Shoden and Okuden. And he talks about that. And he says, that, so the precepts, they're pretty sure, came from a book from 1914 from a Dr. Suzuki Bazan. And in that book, he has, I don't know if it's a poem or a walk-up, but it's basically called The Path to Soundness. And it is almost identical to what Usui is using. And work diligently, or be honest in your work. I think it's work diligently is in there. And Nicholas says that, 1914 Japan, people had skills and you were very dedicated to your skill, right? So like, let's say your skill was making swords. You're very dedicated to that. You're dedicated to your practice. It is your life's work, right? And you're honest about who you are. It is your life practice. It's also the honesty of who you are as a person, right? You're an honest person. You're when you are out in the world, you're being true to who you are. So like Chris Marsh's, where instead of be humble and be grateful, he says, be true to your way and your being. That's really what we are at our core. We're very at our spiritual core, right? Our life's work, like we're all here because there is a calling in our heart that we know that our work is to be compassionate to all beings. So to work diligently in the more American sense or Westernized sense is just being an honest, humble, grateful person, right? That we're not out there trying to convince other people our way is the best way, or I'm the best at this. Our ego then gets involved. So when we're working diligently, it just means that we're dedicated to what we've decided we're going to do and that we're honest about it. And I can, in fact, I'll put the blurb in the email so that we have that. Thank you so much for bringing that up.
Because in his book, he also has many different versions from all the people, and basically they're all saying the same thing. Maybe just wording is a little different.
Yeah.
So are you going to include that this person in the book?
Yeah, Nicholas Pearson. I'm going to put a little blurb about that, and I'm going to put a link in the email to his book. And Nicholas Pearson also does free Reiki shares. So getting on his list is a really great idea. He's a wonderful, wonderful man. He's very much in alignment with like what Sensei Yakuta Inamoto teaches. He's very true to the history as we know it of Usui. And he's a very, very humble teacher, and he's a wonderful person to do his free Reiki share. So we always love plugging Nicholas. We 100% support him, and we love this book. And he's really approachable. Like if you have questions and you email him, he'll email you right back. And he's a scholar, so he knows a lot about the history.
Okay, and I also noticed that the order in that little diagram that you gave, which was really great, about how starting with anger, working through worry, then humble. So that order it's different too, because I always thought the grateful came before the humble.
And it could, it's just the way that we're kind of interpreting it to help people. Like, again, this is what we teach for people who don't have a Reiki background. So it's like you can put gratitude before humility. But for us, we were like, it makes sense if you're humble, you can be grateful. But then if you're grateful, you can be humble, right? So if you have gratitude, so really it's kind of like which came first, the chicken or the egg kind of thing. It's the same energy. Without one, you can't have the other, really, because you can't really be so grateful if you're always in your head. And if you're like humble, gratitude just kind of comes naturally. You're a humble person. Oh, thank you so much. So really, they just kind of happen. And remember, humble doesn't mean you're a doormat. Humble doesn't mean you put everybody before yourself. Humble just means that you're letting go of your ego and you can hear somebody. So like if you're arguing with somebody, like let's say politics, because that's a big one, right? You're like this, and then you just go, you know what? I see you. I hear you. You're important. You don't have to agree with that person, but the minute you start to say, I see you, I understand, I hear you, and you're open, now they have nothing. No, now they start to slow down, and now they go, okay. Liza just had this with someone. She had a boss that is just always like this. And she just said, oh, I'm sorry. This is what I thought. This is what I heard. And I'm sorry. And he went, oh, she was like this. And he went, okay, nothing, So the precepts also bring us that ability to just be open and to just let things kind of go over us, because we're not attached, right? We're not attached to this. And Deanna says, humans think in linear terms, but I think the energy is like a spiral. Exactly. And that's kind of what that graphic is, right? It's like we're going around, we're getting down to our core, and our core is compassion and love. So
And I think, to keep in mind that sometimes we look at, do not anger. Okay, so we have to master not getting anger. And then we can move on to do not worry. And we have to master that. And I look at it more like the stages of grief, where you are in and out and you're up and down. And the precepts are the same way. Where, maybe we're really good with anger for a while and we go down and then we're back up there, and it's fluid, and we move through these steps. It's not like we ever master one or we have to complete one before we move on to the next.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that, Jamie, because that's true. Because life, you could be fully balanced in the morning, and then life happens, and then you're back up to anger. But guess what? That's why the beauty of the precepts, be compassionate. But you automatically bring yourself, okay, I'm compassionate. I can let go of my anger. I can let go of worry. That's right, compassion. So you can look at it like a circle and everything's connected. And so if you drop out of one, it's like, okay, this brings you back in. So you can drop out, but guess what? Compassion brings you back in constantly. Right. So you're always in that circle of the precepts, no matter what happens. Yes, you get angry, but guess what? Compassion brings you back in, or humility brings you back in, or gratitude brings you back in, but you're always in that. So Deanna says the precepts bring us back to our center, our light. Yes. Thank you, Deanna. So this graphic is kind of going down, but you can look at it also as a circle. And then that beautiful center. So
or you could start at compassion. And then if I'm living in compassion, that means I'm grateful. That means I'm humble. Oh, I've let go of worry. I've let go of anger.
You can go backwards to it. Maud. Hello, welcome.
Hi. Yeah, so nice to be here. I just enrolled this weekend. So this will be my very first days and my first time to be here. And I'm from the Netherlands. And I've been a Reiki master since 2005, and I've been educating a lot of Reiki grades, grade 1, 2, and 3 for many people. And then I stopped at a certain time. I have my own practice. I am an energy worker, and through my own animals, I stumbled upon animal Reiki and Kathleen's methods, and I've been reading all the books in the last couple of weeks, and I decided to enroll for the Sarah course because it seemed so nice and had everything in it. So love to be here, and I've been deep diving the last 2 days, and I really underestimated those 5 precepts. It's an epiphany. And I must say I was slightly disappointed that our homework for this week in the course was practice all is well. And I was so keen on doing animal Reiki that I thought, well, all is well. Gee, do I have to wait even longer? And then I started to practice, and in my work, a client didn't show up, and it was a client who had booked a session for a day. So I was very angry in the moment because it was the misunderstanding was on his side. And then I remembered the all is well. So I did that, and it really helped. So and there's something to learn here. Nice.
But I love that, Maud, that you said that, because, it is true. So when you take the Animal Reiki for Reiki Practitioners course, the first week is all about all is well and the precepts, but you're not really learning about the precepts. It's just like, just repeat them. But what we were talking about earlier in the Animal Reiki for Reiki Practitioners, like Gabby and Beth were at, is our energy is what is important. But people come to this course because they're like, oh, I want to work with animals. So I want to learn techniques. But the biggest technique is calming yourself, calming your own energy, and then the animals. So even that all is well, it seems so passive, so simple, but as soon as your energy calms, then the animals are like, ah, okay, yeah, now she's nice to be around, right? Now I feel like I can connect. Now that connection between each other, because there is no magic to it. It's, I'm here, I'm with you. It's that beautiful space, because in meditation, you're going to learn all these different techniques that help you let go of anger and help you really stay in that space. And we'll do a meditation today that is one of the core meditations, the Joshin Kokyoho. And that meditation, when we do that and we let go of everything and we have that all as well, now the animals are like, oh, yes.
Yeah.
Now I want to connect with you. But people think, okay, I want to do hands-on, I'm a beam Reiki. And the animals are like, wait a second, whoa, no, calm down, back up, right? So we have lots of different stories to share about that, about why we don't do that, how the animals, can you imagine a traumatized animal and I come out and I'm beaming energy and I want to put hands and they're just like, hands are dangerous. I mean, hands are what hurt me. And here we are, I'm going to put hands on you. That it just doesn't make sense. So yeah. So thank you for bringing that up. I love that you said that. All is well. Yeah, because it's true.
Yeah.
So simple, so passive, yet it's so completely powerful. So thank you and welcome. And I'm glad
Thank you.
Thank you. So
Nice
much.
to be here.
Yay. So before we move on, Gabby, I don't know. I know you came. Did you have a question that you wanted to ask? No? Okay. Because I know we had been talking about that. This is a great place. So how we do this, we usually have a topic and then we talk about the topic. And then if there's some more time, we open it up to any questions. So if nobody has anything more to say about the precepts, we can move on to a question. And then we'd have like about what, Jamie, like 5 minutes?
Let's see. Yeah, about 5 minutes.
Yeah, Charisse. Yes. And congratulations again. Charisse bought a house in Tucson. She's been looking and looking, so it's very exciting. So we celebrate that for her.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Very exciting. It's been 48 years in the making. So
Oh my
a long time to look. So I do have a question and I wanted to bring it to the group because I'm just about not sure what to do. So I have volunteered for, gosh, maybe 5-6 years now at my local at a shelter. And I do work there. You're working, I do legal work there. I do hands-on work there. And it's an all volunteer shelter and very short staff. So they're very open me to do Reiki when I go. And I try to do it when I'm there, clearly do it before I get there and, bring my energy and whatever. But I've just about given up because every time I'm there, there's so much to do. So they're understaffed. It's all volunteer. So I almost feel like when I'm sitting with the cats or, we have a new dog that came in and I'm sitting there and I want to do Reiki. There are so many things that need doing. And I feel like the people who come in and out are almost annoyed. Not annoyed when they like me, but they, there's this sense. And I'm almost feeling like, I've tried it so many different ways and so many different times to come in. And even when I've come in when no one else is there, I'm coming in and I'm seeing, oh dear, this one peed, this one pooped, this one did. And I can't get into the practice. So I guess I'm throwing it out there looking for a suggestion or is it just that I just need to find a different shelter? I just can't do it there because I'm too close to it. That I need to find a different place where I'm just coming in and just doing Reiki, which I'd hate to do, but on the flip side, maybe it's better. I don't know. So throwing it out there.
Yeah. So Jamie, do you want to take this first?
Sure. So I think it's important to remember because I've been in situations like that. I volunteered a small sanctuary and sometimes she just needs help. But I don't always have to be sitting in meditation, offering Reiki. If I'm in my practice, if I set my intention before I walk in that shelter to, just be the energy of Reiki, to be the energy of love, to, that I want to come in as this light of love, the animals are going to sense that whether I'm cleaning poop or sitting in meditation. So I can bring it in that way. You can also do distance. You could work, and if it's easier for you and that's, harder, so you just do your job and then you go home and you send it to them because we know that's fabulous. So those are just a couple of ways.
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
that's a really good, I'm sorry. No, that's a good one. And I have done the distance. I forgot about that. That is a good one. And interesting, really quick, when I was in Tucson, I was going through Reiki master training and I was going, it was a week-long thing plus looking for the house. And all of a sudden, one of the animals from the shelter, not all of a sudden, 3 times during the week kept popping up. And it turns out she was sick. And they had to take her to the hospital. She seems to be doing better now. But so there is that connection with the distance. I don't know why that doesn't, but you're absolutely right. I don't know why that doesn't feel as right, because we know that distance is the same as being there. So maybe I could do that more.
And it's just really important, because I used to, when I volunteered at the Humane Society of Silicon Valley, they're very busy, and I volunteered in the hospital, so like helping, and I would clean cages and everything. But I would set myself, and I would just, as I'm cleaning cages, do the precepts. And then when I learned level 2, I would do the chanting to myself and just be really calm. And what happened was, they didn't know what Reiki was. They didn't really care what Reiki was, but they noticed that when I did things, the animals were calm. And it was like when I was at Pregnant Mare rescue, there was a horse that came in that was completely skittish. Nobody would go in, and her stall was filthy. It was so high with manure, nobody was cleaning it because everybody was scared to go in. So I'm like, well, her stall has to be clean. So I went in and I just spoke low, and I just got that light and just slowly shoveled and told her what I was doing. And I just kept my energy low, and she kept low. And the only time, it was at the very end, I had sprinkled like all of the shavings and everything, which, I had to tell her, this is a bag, it's going to make a noise, in here. And she kind of was back, and she was doing her little dance and stuff. And then the freaking shovel fell right when we were almost done. She started rearing up, and I'm like, but she stayed in her corner. I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. But we can take this beautiful practice, because remember, it's just love. It's just going to that place of love in our heart and doing everything with intent, setting our intent. I'm going to be calm. I'm going to create this beautiful space. And when I start to lose it, I'm going to come back. And when I start to lose it, I'm going to come back. And using all as well, using the precepts, using your breath, whatever that is, you're going to bring yourself back to that place.
That's really helpful. That is really helpful.
Yeah, Deanna has tons of shelter experience.
No, but I volunteer at an all, even the CEO is a volunteer. It's all volunteer. And when they have some cat rooms, and when I'm in the cat rooms scooping the boxes, I chant. And yes, animals love the chanting, and also I just create the space and I chant. And then when I'm on the dog side, I'm cleaning cages, I'm taking care of their waters and things. And I also chant with some of them when I'm doing that in their cages, and just kind of go up and down the run and, chant. And then, yeah, so if there's time, I do spend time with individual animals, but a lot of times I am just trying to create that energy with whatever I'm doing at the shelter.
Yeah.
But I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's hard. And then also remember too, Charisse, if you don't do it, who will? You know what I mean? So you can't really give up on your shelter and those animals, because if you're gone, then what's left, right? What's the alternative? So it's really getting out of our own way and going, okay, even if it's just a little bit, that little bit is more, and that'll grow and grow. And it's good practice for you, because the more you do that, the more you're going to go. And you haven't been doing this for that long. You haven't learned this method for that long. You only took a class a few months ago. So, it is a practice, and it's a constant practice. And we do get really frustrated, and you do get down about it. But the important thing is coming to places like this where you feel support, you get answers, and you get tips on how to do this better, right?
Yeah.
And I think if you left, every shelter is overworked. Right. So you'd run into the same thing no matter where you went.
Yeah. After COVID, it's really bad.
No, I wasn't going to leave. I was going to try to see if I could find another where I would do both, and that, but
I see. Yeah,
but the same thing applies. If I have the time, they need it there. So why would I just do it there? So that's brilliant. Thank you. That's true.
And the thing about sharing Reiki is that we're basically creating a connection. You know what I'm saying? So we can create that connection while we're at the shelter, even if we're doing other things, you know, just maintain that connection in that space. That's how I think of it. No.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much, Sharice. Beth or Wilma, and both Beth B and Beth R, do you have any comments or anything you want to share or ask before we move on to our meditation? No? Okay, wonderful. Thank you all so much for coming. We will do our meditation. So Jamie, I don't know if you want to lead or if you want me to lead the Joshin Kokyoho.
You can go ahead and lead the Joshin Kokyoho.
So this is our foundational meditation, and this really helps us to build that light within us. So we're just going to get nice and comfortable. We're going to go into Gasho, and we're going to set our intent that we're open to receive whatever it is that we need most at this moment in time, and that we're open to hold space for all sentient beings. And if you have a person, situation, or animal you'd like to put in this beautiful healing circle, please do. If you think of them later, just put them in the circle. Energy knows no time or space. And whenever you're ready, you can put your hands face up or face down on your lap. So I'd like you to imagine your breath as you breathe in a light, and imagine that light coming down into your belly, deep into your belly, and igniting a light within you. And on the out breath, feel the light at your belly expanding in your body. So breathing in light, and at your belly expanding this beautiful light within you. The light that you're breathing in, the light that you're igniting, can be any color you imagine. It could be blue, green, multicolored. This is your unique individual light. This is a light that you use to connect with animals, people, your environment, the world around you is connected through this light. As you breathe in and breathe out, the light grows brighter and brighter within you and starts to go down into your legs, into your feet. Imagine the light expanding further, coming up into your heart, into your chest, into your shoulders, down your arms, and into your hands. See the light coming up into your neck, into your head, until your entire body is filled with your light. Your light is so bright. As you breathe out, it starts to seep out every cell of your body, engulfing you until you become this light. Your body starts to dissolve in this light. This beautiful healing light is you. It is filled with love, peace, and joy. It is who you truly are at your core. This is the light that the animals see. This is the light that the animals connect with. As you sit and breathe in and out, feeling your light growing stronger and brighter, invite anyone who wants to join you. As we sit in this light, any animals who join us with their light. Together, we are so strong, we are so connected, and we understand deeply that we are connected to everything in this beautiful space of love. And just slowly start focusing on your breath and start focusing on bringing yourself back. But don't close the meditation space. Don't close your heart to this expansiveness that you've created. Stay in touch with this light. Stay in touch with this part of you that is pure love, peace, and joy. And use this light to connect to everyone and everything as you go through your day. We bring our hands into Gasho. And we say thank you to ourselves for being here, for being open to this meditation. And we thank all who have joined us. You could slowly bring yourself back. You can rub your hands together if you want, rub your face. Thank you all so much for coming today, for joining us, for creating this beautiful space together. You can feel that together we are so much stronger than we are individually. And that's why Jamie and I do these calls, because we want you to feel supported and we want you to feel seen and loved. And together our light is so bright. Yay.
Yes, thank you, everyone.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
Remember, thank you, Gwen. Gwen, it's so great seeing you. I haven't seen you for so long. Maud, I'm so excited for you to be in class. Gabby, thanks. Mary Lynn, always a pleasure. Deanna, so excited you came. Yay, Deanna. I'd love to have Deanna's wisdom. And Liza, Therese, Beth R, Wilma, Beth B. So beautiful. Remember, next week, yes, happy Easter. Wilma, thank
Yes,
you.
take a break.
I'm taking a break.
Take a break. Yeah.
We'll be sending you an
Thank
email
you.
with all the things we talked about. And yeah, so look for that. And we'll send this little graphic. We'll put our logo on it and we'll send you the little graphic. So thank you all, everyone.
Thank you. Happy Easter.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Have a great Easter.
Bye.
Easter.